Stop waiting for money to go ahead and do what you love. I see this thing a lot of the times when talking to entrepreneurs who are really successful, who have made some sort of money. And oftentimes, when I ask them, why are you trying to scale or why are you trying to get to the goal that you're trying to get to? A lot of times, I get the same answer, which is, I want to be able to do what I love. And you'd assume that this is kind of a pattern that's only repeated across people who are at lower levels, who are just starting their journey. In reality, this is present in all levels across all of the tiers of entrepreneurship or business or online money, or across every single tier of life. It doesn't have to be across entrepreneurship. I've talked to so many other people who are entrepreneurs who are working very high level corporate jobs, and they feel the same exact way. You'd ask them, why are you trying to get to, the next promotion, or why are you trying to get to this level of monthly income? And it's usually the same thing of like, I'm going to do this until I have X amount of money, and then I'll go ahead and start what I love doing, whether it be travel, whether it be a hobby like creating art. And it's mostly like about truly tapping in to what they truly love. So you watching this right now, you probably have something that in the back of your mind you would do for free, but for some reason or another, you're not doing it right now. And the reason for that is because you think in your mind that that is not paying the bills. It will never pay the bills. Let's just take, in this case, I have a really good friend of mine. Shout out to you if you're watching this. He really loves the idea of racing. He would love to race cars. Now, mind you, my good friend, he's made, well over 7 figures for his clients. He's a very successful guy. And when I ask him, why don't you pursue this, right? Why are you doing what you're doing right now instead of pursuing what you love doing? Why are you trying to scale to $500,000 a month when you could be very easily doing what it is that you love? You could be pursuing racing. And he kind of sat to me and he was like, I don't know why. And I talked to him and I told him, there's no reason for you to be waiting. There's no reason for you to wait for the money to come, for the right person to come, for the right opportunity to come in order to start doing what it is that you love. Oftentimes we want to hit these astronomical big numbers in our business, in our career, in our life, just so we can have almost like a permission slip to do what it is that we love. It's like once I've made $1 million, once I've made $10 million, once I've made $500,000 in a month, then and only then will I start producing the thing that I want or creating the thing that I want, or, making watches or designing cars, or, you can think of any one of a million things, or traveling with my family. The issue is, what ends up happening is in that pursuit of the thing that we think is going to enable us to do the things that we love, we oftentimes lose the thing that we love. I'll use a personal example. I really love coding and I love creating technology. And I've been doing it since I was, 10 years old. I've just been creating stuff, documenting the journey, obviously on a different YouTube channel. It's no longer there. But I really love doing it. And the reason why I stopped doing it for a prolonged period of time, it was around 3 or 4 years, was simply because I didn't have the money to continue doing it. And I thought there was no way that I can monetize it at my current age. I was like around 13 at the time, and I was building all sorts of like cool AI voice assistants. And this was before like AI was really mainstream or was really a thing. I was really studying calculus in the 8th grade in order to create my own AI systems. I know for people who are not really technical, I just said a bunch of random mumbo jumbo. I apologize about that. But I stopped pursuing it because I thought that the only way for me to pursue it was if I made money first and then I funded my project. What ended up happening was I spent the next, 3 or 4 years literally just trying to make money any way possible. And I unfortunately lost that touch of wanting to create cool projects, wanting to create stuff and share with people. I lost that touch. Every single decision of mine was fueled by whether or not this is going to make me money. And I know that a lot of you watching, every single decision that you make is fueled by that same exact thing. The reason why you're in the business that you're in right now, or the career that you're in right now, or maybe even the opportunities and the people that you surround yourself with right now, is simply because it's going to make you money, because you think it's going to make you money. And you often, you really forgot why you wanted that money in the first place. You forgot about it. So how do you actually go ahead and achieve what it is that you desire? How do you actually go ahead and pursue it? It's very simple. First, understand exactly what it is that you desire. I don't want vague stuff. It's like, I want to ask you a question. Why is it that you work what you work? Why is it that you want to make money in the first place? Don't give me some generic bullshit, which is I want to travel or I want to provide for my family. No, I want very like bulletproof, very specific stuff. Some of you are going to be more specific than others, but even for those of you who are like, I want to live in this house, I want to drive this car or these cars, I want to travel these places every single year, this is how I want my lifestyle to be. You have to even go a little bit deeper than that. How's your day-to-day life going to look like? Because for the people who think that, once I've ticked off these items on my checklist, I'm telling you right now, you'll get bored of it. As someone who, has made a significant amount of money at a young age, I'm only 18, and I'll continue to make more money and building crazier companies. I know that the stuff that's on your checklist and your wish list, that's not what's going to give you true happiness. It's not what's going to get me true happiness. It's not what's going to get, everyone else that I know true happiness. It's not going to get you true happiness. What's going to get you true happiness is truly finding something that you can impact others, and you can leave an impact, a real impact on the world. So first of all, find that thing. Find that thing that, in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years from now, you can literally still be pursuing. I don't know, maybe you'll be alive in 100 years. Who knows? Health and technology improves every single year, and we don't really know, what could happen. You can live for the next 100 years. But even if you did, right, it's like that's the thing that you would pursue if that was the case. It's not like a checklist that you tick, because once you tick that checklist, then what? If you're working for something that could be ticked off in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, then what is it that you're really working for? You're just working for the next big fad. And you're going to start to realize that the things that you thought you wanted, you didn't actually want. You don't actually value those things. I had a conversation with my father, and I was asking him, Dad, if you were to have any car in the world, right, and I were to snap my fingers and I would gift it to you, what car would it be? And he looked at me and he's like, I don't really care much about cars. He's like, I would just want an updated version of my Toyota. And I was like, so you don't like G-Wagons, you don't like, Rolls Royces, you don't like any of that stuff. Like, you literally just like ask for it and you would get it. And he's like, no, I just don't care. So that is an example of someone who values something and knows exactly what they value. You're not following what other people think that you personally should value. If you don't value cars or watches or lifestyle trips, then you shouldn't care about it. You shouldn't pursue it. I personally don't care about traveling to a bajillion different places and Airbnb hopping. I don't care. I actually, quite honestly hate it. I would prefer, sitting here on my setup, being able to record videos like this and just being very familiar and dialed in with my work, with my team, with everything that I do in my routine. I don't really like Airbnb hopping and going around all these different places. And if I'm going to a place, I would prefer if I had some sort of longer term setup. But, you watching this, you might actually love the whole idea. You might love, hopping from place to place and place to place. And that's totally fine. But you need to be very concrete on what it is that you want. The next step is, isolating yourself from what everyone else around you thinks that you want. So isolate yourself from what your parents think you should want, or what social media thinks that you should want, or what your colleagues would think that if you got this new car or this new watch, or traveled to this place on this private jet, or hung around with this person, right, then you would have a higher status among your peers or among your industry. Forget about all that. None of these guys matter. None of this matters. At the end of the day, when you die, the only thing that's going to matter is whether or not you lived a life that made you happy. And it would be such a miserable experience and a miserable life for you to have lived a life for others and not yourself. It is so much worth it, more worth it, for you to live a life that is true to your own terms and to what makes you happy over anything else. We have this meme, right? Where, a guy goes with a girl and maybe she's not that conventionally attractive. Maybe she's, his friends think of her that, maybe she's, not that good looking. The number one thing that they tell the guy is, as long as you're happy, because that's truly what matters. At the end of the day, it's him, right? It's the guy and the girl, right? In their own house. And as long as they're they're happy with each other, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Right? It's only when you start comparing. It's only when you start looking at girls on social media, comparing your girl to them, and then you're like, maybe my girl isn't that beautiful, right? Or maybe my life isn't that beautiful, right? You don't have to use the girl example, but it's like, you're gonna think, oh, maybe my life isn't that beautiful. Maybe my car isn't the best. Maybe my house isn't the best. Maybe my family isn't the best. Comparison is truly the thief of joy. You might look at it and you might think, oh, but I need to compare myself so I can compete. I'm not telling you not to compete. But I want you to compete in the thing that truly matters, that will truly last, which is impact. How many people have you actually changed their lives? That's the only thing that I would compare myself to, I wouldn't even compare myself to anyone. But if I were to compare myself to anything or anyone, it would be how many people's lives have I changed versus how many people's lives have they changed. And I would see what they've done so I can learn from them so I can help more people. At the end of the day, it's a net positive. It's not a net negative thing. Then, once you've found exactly what it is that you want, not what other people want, I want you to figure out exactly how much it's going to cost. Exactly how much it's going to cost. For my friend who wants to pursue racing, well, figure out exactly how much your racing career is going to cost. Because chances are, he probably already has the money. If you're somewhat of a successful person, an entrepreneur who've made, you've been making for the last 2 to 3 years some sort of money, you're going to have way more than enough money, at least, to fund the start of what it is that you want to do. You want to start a technology company? Guess what? You don't need that much money. You need $200 a month for a Claude Pro subscription or Claude Max subscription, and you need maybe a couple $100 to market and some other API tools, and that's it. There, you literally can create a software. You can teach yourself how to build a software. You don't need tens of thousands of dollars to hire a developing team because you have a sick idea in your head. You just pursue that idea. If that's what you truly think matters to you, and that's what's going to make you happy, pursue it. You're going to realize, hold on, I don't need that much money to get the thing that I love. And you're going to realize that this big goal that you had in your mind was probably just given to you by someone else. It was probably given to you by some guru on Twitter saying that you need X amount of money per month to live this kind of lifestyle, or you need X amount of money to get into this specific venture or to get into this specific business. When in reality, all you wanted to do was that business in the first place. Maybe the business that you're in right now, chances are 90% of you watching, that's going to be the case. You don't even want to do this business. You don't want to pursue this thing. You just want to pursue this other thing that's really, really cool, but you have this high barrier to entry in your mind, when in reality, that barrier to entry does not exist, or it's not as high as you think it is. Now, once you've gone ahead and done that, I want you to basically predict how long it's going to take you in order to fully make this successful. Maybe if it's a business, then predict how long is it going to take in order to sustain the lifestyle that you want, right? So, for example, if the lifestyle that you want costs around $10,000 a month, again, I'm giving very basic examples. I have friends of mine who literally spend $1 million a month on their lifestyle, and they think that, it's not enough and they want to spend even more. I have other friends who live on $2,000 per month, right? The range really varies. I'm just giving a wide example just so you guys can understand it. But let's just say the lifestyle, for it to be sustainable, you just need $10,000 per month. Calculate how much time do you actually need doing this thing that you love to actually make that money. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, however long that period is. Create essentially a rainy day fund to fund yourself during that 3 months, 6 months, a year, however long it takes in order for that new thing to fully take over. And it's as simple as that. And I'm telling you right now, if you wake up in the morning and the first thing that you do is to basically align yourself with the thing that you love doing, you're going to make so much more faster progress than you're currently doing in this current business. Because this current business is fueled by one thing, and it's money. It's fueled by the desire of money. And money is a man-made thing. It's not God-given. It's not this thing where you are born as a baby, you're born as a soul, and God put this need in you, right? God didn't put the need of money inside of you, right? But God put the desire for you to create something astronomical and something impactful that changes people's lives. He put that need inside of you. Deep down in your soul, you want to help more people. You want to help the right kind of people that you feel aligned to. And when you wake up in the morning and that's the thing that you do, that's the thing that you spend all of your time and all your thinking resources on, only then are you able to achieve tremendous amounts of results in such a short period of time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk. I'm going to be making more of these talks about topics like this. This is the new wave of entrepreneurs. This is the new wave of people who are using their brains to think and not just outsourcing their thinking to AI or just regurgitated AI slop about influencers on YouTube who literally, this is what people do, by the way. I'm going to just go on a side tangent here. This is what people do. They go on Claude and they're like, write me 10 video ideas about how to scale agencies or something. And they just waste your time basically regurgitating AI slop, and then they expect a lot of views, they expect a lot of money. I'm not willing to do that. I want to actually share stuff with you guys that actually gets you to think, that actually gets you to be like, maybe I am meant for more, because I believe that you're meant for more. I believe that every single one of you watching, if you've watched this far, you are meant for more. I don't want your purpose and your potential to be wasted, to be just left untouched and underdeveloped. I want to develop that potential with you, and I want to help as many people as possible with great potential go ahead and develop it into lasting and impactful legacies. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.